your personal brand has a positioning statement as well. You all have a positioning statement. Think about how you describe yourself. Now, what I mean by that is Nike have this, just do it. You know that's Nike without even showing you Nike. This is Apple, think different. Mine is the only CEO with a mohawk. But you have one too. You know, Karen had the GPS girl. You all have something. And the headline's really, really important because your headline follows you around on LinkedIn. So it's really, really important to do that. Every single time you share it, which is why we change ours quite a lot, it basically comes up. So if you share something, for example, the line comes up on LinkedIn. If you like something, it comes up on LinkedIn. If basically somebody else tags you, as you can see here, it comes up. So you really have to think through what you want your headline to be, what you want your brand positioning statement to be. If you do a search, it comes up, and it's constantly selling you, marketing you, it's soft selling you. So people know what you do, and it'll increase your search by actually doing this. It appears on other people's profiles. Here am I, here's Mr. Bill Gates. So you basically look at that as you're marketing yourself so far, because obviously everyone knows who Bill Gates are, but nobody knows who these other people are. So it's about marketing yourself. You see it, you go, that's interesting, just the LinkedIn stuff, or just the personal branding stuff. And people can then click through to it. And I love the way that Mike does this. So he's basically used his headline, because he's in SEO, to challenge you. So he said, the coolest guy in Nashville, Google it to see for yourself. So we did, and he is. He's the coolest guy in Nashville. So he's actually marketing his company through the headline by challenging you to actually Google him, because that's what he does. But he's got to be very confident to be number one. Can you imagine being the second coolest guy in Nashville? Doesn't have the same ring about it. And your background picture is phenomenally important. I show you this. Andrew at the Ritz-Carlton here. You want to be in that bar in Shanghai in the Ritz-Carlton, go, wow, that's amazing. What a fantastic picture. Or this is Dahlia, who's a local entrepreneur, euphoric coaching, very strong branding. She's gone for it straight away. So you know exactly what her brand's all about. And Ryan here, who's one of our clients, for example, he's an adventurer on the BBC, Discovery Channel, and Amazon. So he's basically said, I'm at the top of a mountain. This is what I do for a living. I get at the top of mountains and make TV programs. So it's a wonderful picture at the top of a mountain in the Himalayas. And Jane went with the branding. So she's gone, humility is the new power. Got the book, got the keynote speech. So it's all about using that area there to market yourself. It's all free. This is not premium function. This is all free. Dr. Jeff here is a photographer, so he's gone with his National Geographic photography. Brilliant stuff. But LinkedIn is not dynamic, so beware of this. Now, what I mean by that is, this is what it looks like on the laptop. This is what it looks like on the mobile. So the face changes from the left to the middle. So if you have something here, you ain't going to see it on the mobile. And if you have something here, you ain't going to see it on the laptop. So you have to basically be thinking about that, and you can't prioritize one because they're all basically equal, 50-50 split between mobile and laptop. So don't do this. Lonely and young girl. LinkedIn is not the place to do this kind of thing. Elbert here felt the need to put human being down, as if you do a search for a human being, you have to reassure him he wasn't a robot, in fact. He was in fact a human being. Dave here went for executive demigod at Miracle Health. I'm sorry, Dave, but that's not a picture to sell Miracle Health. Shelley Shara, wife of Stephen Shara. Why would you do that? Especially as Stephen did not reciprocate. Stephen has not got husbands of Shelley Shara, and he should in this day and age, because Dale's got spouse of owner of Picoso Mexican restaurant. So he has no standing by himself. He's merely going out with someone who owns a dodgy restaurant in Hong Kong. Lecturer at retired and enjoying time with the family. Does he look like he's enjoying time with the family? I think he'd rather be back at work. And Sean here, CEO accelerating digital for global company, corporates and startups. You're thinking, wow, I've just connected with the CEO of HSBC. Absolutely fantastic. And then you click on his profile. He's the head of digital experience. Sorry, Sean, you were calling yourself the CEO. And I looked down his entire profile, and he's not a CEO, has never been a CEO, and probably will never be a CEO. But you can't claim to be something you're not. So don't put something here when the experience section says you're not that. You have to substantiate it. You have to be authentic. Like this here, managing director. No, personal assistant to the managing director. These are very different things. You can't be claiming to one when you're the other. And don't do this. Belle here used to work for Uber, used to work for Netflix, and used to work for Spotify. So basically, her current job is so bad, she has to tell you she used to work at a cool place, 3 cool places. And she couldn't keep those jobs, but she likes to remind the fact she used to work there. Why would you do that? And usually you get Googlers doing this. And I hate that phrase Googler, but normally Googlers go ex-Googler. Ex-Googler is like, what? You used to work for a good company and you don't anymore. But this guy wasn't even happy with that. He now works with Google, but still had to remind you he used to work at McKinsey and Goldman Sachs. It's like, is that good enough to work for Google by itself? How good do you want to be? And complete your profiles, really, really important. Your summary section, your experience section is really phenomenally important. And the 3 lines here are really important because you don't press show more if those 3 lines don't pull you in. So don't do some corporate work there, don't do some corporate generic keywords. Put your personality there, whether it's the CEO with the mohawk, or the GPS girl, whatever it happens to be. And then start populating with things like videos and slide shares and other things like PDFs outside of LinkedIn to drive people back to what you want to be. And tell your story in your summary section. And constantly iterate it, keep it up to date. People look at that more than anything else. They love to look at a story. And put videos there. So videos are phenomenally important because you can watch videos on LinkedIn, both on the app and the laptop. On the company page, it's really, really important that you actually describe the company in the way the company describes on LinkedIn. You get so many people who basically describe the company in a way that what they do at that company and not what that company can do for somebody else. Now, LinkedIn is external, it's not internal. So you have to very much look at how you describe the company in a positive and marketing way. Don't just put, I make the tea at Dark Art of Marketing, and don't say what Dark Art of Marketing actually does do. So really follow it through. And the easiest thing to do is just copy and paste it from the company page and then put in, for example, your YouTube channel and your website. So you're driving people outside of LinkedIn. Visually, it's more attractive, but you can also watch videos on LinkedIn as well. That's part of it. Very simply done. What else do you do? Put in the fact you do other things. So for example, I lecture at NUS, so I put that down because it's part of my personal branding. I also, for example, contribute to the Business Times, so I put that down. I'm also a mentor at SMU, so I put that down. Add in the experience sections, people know what else you do. Put in recommendations, phenomenally important. Get other people to recommend you. Because that's not just you saying how good you are, it's actually other people also saying how good you are. Substantiating, and of course they can click through to it and ask these people what they thought about you. Really, really important. Add your skills, and you can only see the top 3, but it's very important that basically that is part of your brand values too. The same thing if you looked at the rest, and if you can be endorsed by people who know about that, even better. So I've been endorsed by Social Selling by the #1 social seller in Microsoft, which is David Tang. Also been endorsed by Social Selling by 4 people who work at LinkedIn. So being endorsed by people who know about the skills is also very, very important. Put your accomplishments down, put your awards down, put your organizations down, add in your brand values. This is your story. This goes beyond your CV. This tells your entire story and it should be interchangeable. Add things to it, keep it live, always iterate it. Tell people where you are. So if I go to Sydney, I change my headline to Sydney and the background picture. Auckland, when I went to Auckland, background picture. Hong Kong, list the dates I'm doing in Hong Kong, tell people in Hong Kong. So what this does, because your headline follows you around, it lets people know that you're available in that city to meet up, for example. And obviously we all travel in Asia, so it's really important to do it. You can also add it into a campaign onto the content marketing part of LinkedIn itself. I love the way Lanny does this. She's got a little plane with next stop Greece, and she's constantly changing it, so it's really good. People know where she is. Steve did the other way. Steve got 7 to 9 September, Liverpool. People know where he is. I love the way Ron does this, because Ron travels more than anyone else I've ever met in my entire life. So he traveled this. He's got 2 little planes, one in Sacramento, one in San Diego, and he's telling you where he is and what's he going to do. Fantastic. And then when he's at home, he does this, because he's never at home. So he lets people know, now in Singapore. Interviews, videos, meetings at the home office in Singapore. Fantastic. So you know he's actually here. So you can go and meet him, talk to him, because Ron's in Singapore, let's meet up. Don't do this. A lifelong passion for problem solving. What does that mean? Nothing. You all solve problems, I solve problems. It doesn't distinguish you, it's not personal branding at all. Or this, business leader. What does that mean? Nothing. You're a business leader, I'm a business leader, everyone's a business leader. So it doesn't distinguish you. I love this. This is the Love Doctor, because love is a business. Love Doctor includes convince parents for a love marriage, affair, other person, It's like, how do you have an affair by yourself? I'm not really getting that one at all. And he also sorts out get your lover back, and he goes beyond love into divorce problem, and then business problem, and then study problem as well. So he sorts all your problems out. This Love Doctor is pretty amazing. But I love this service. It's the nichest service you will ever find in your life. Be free from enemy / second wife. It's like, what happened to the first wife? And is there a third wife business as well? It's like a very niche business. And Peter here is out of work. So LinkedIn tell me that Peter is celebrating a work anniversary at 4 years at out of work. Not only that, they say congratulate Peter for being out of work for 4 years. That's why Peter doesn't look very amused by this whole thing. And don't be endorsed for things like PowerPoint, Excel, and telling the time. Because really you should know how to tell the time without being endorsed for it on LinkedIn. And if you're English like I am, do not be endorsed for awesomeness and general awesomeness. You can only be endorsed for awesomeness if you're American, clearly.